Hi, I'm Dr. Svetlana V. Sakyan, a practicing optometrist passionate about eye health and clear vision. I am 73 years old, and I want to ask you a question that most doctors are too afraid to ask. What is the one thing you are most terrified of losing? Is it the ability to drive at night because the glare has become a blinding fog? Is it the fear that one day you'll look at a family photograph and the names simply won't come? For 20 years, I've watched seniors settle for aging as if it's a prison sentence. But tonight, I'm going to show you why your kitchen cabinet holds the key to your cell door. I'm talking about 3 specific seeds, chia, flax, and pumpkin, that I use every single night. We aren't talking about overnight miracles, we're talking about biological restoration. If you want to wake up with eyes that feel hydrated and a mind that feels online, you need to hear this story. Before we dive in, I'd love to remind you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us continue sharing simple, natural, and effective tips that keep your eyes and body healthy. Now, let's get started. I had a patient named George, 68 years old, a retired engineer. Brilliant man, but he came to me defeated. He said, "Doctor, I feel like there's sand in my eyes and fog in my gears." He was losing his night vision and his confidence. He was doing everything right, but his body was starving. You see, as we age, our eyes and brain become leaky. We lose the fats and minerals that keep our neurons firing. George didn't need a new prescription. He needed a delivery system. I started him on the triple seed protocol. Within 3 weeks, George wasn't just seeing better. He was back to finishing his crossword puzzles in record time. Here is the science I gave George. The science the miracle pill companies don't want you to know. First, let's talk about the sand. If your eyes feel dry, gritty, or tired, you are likely suffering from retinal inflammation. Chia and flax seeds are the world's most potent sources of ALA, a plant-based omega-3. Think of ALA as fire retardant for your eyes. When you consume these before bed, your body uses the quiet hours of sleep to transport these fats to your tear glands and your retina. But there is a catch, a dangerous one. If you eat flax seeds whole, they will pass through your body completely untouched. You are quite literally flushing your money down the toilet. To unlock the brain fat inside, you must grind them fresh. I grind mine every evening. It's the only way to ensure the oils are live and ready to lubricate your brain's memory centers. And then we have the chia seed. In the ancient Aztec Empire, these were known as the runner's seed. It was said that a single handful could sustain a warrior for an entire day's march. But as a doctor for seniors, I don't care about a 20-mile run. I care about your 20-foot walk from the bed to the bathroom in the morning without feeling dizzy or confused. Why do I call it the internal reservoir? Because of a unique biological property called mucilage. When you soak a tablespoon of chia seeds in water, they don't just get wet, they transform. They absorb up to 12 times their weight in liquid, creating a thick, protective gel. This isn't just a culinary trick. It is a medical miracle for the aging body. For us seniors, our metabolism is no longer a roaring fire. It's more like a simmering candle. If we eat sugary snacks or heavy carbs before bed, our blood sugar spikes, then crashes at 4 a.m., leaving our brains starving. This glucose roller coaster is a leading cause of broken sleep and memory glitches. When you consume the chia gel, it acts as a physical barrier in your digestive tract. It wraps around other nutrients and slows down their conversion into sugar. This creates what I call a nutritional slow drip. Instead of your brain getting a sudden burst of energy and then nothing, it receives a steady, metered, rhythmic flow of omega-3s and antioxidants all through the night. It's like switching from a flickering flashlight to a steady, glowing lantern that stays lit until the sun comes up. Here is a secret that most people overlook. The morning fog is often just brain drought. Your brain is over 70% water. While you sleep, you lose a significant amount of hydration through your breath and your skin. By the time 6 a.m. rolls around, your brain cells are literally shriveled, like a plant that hasn't been watered in a week. This is why you feel groggy, slow, and irritable when you first wake up. The chia gel holds onto water in your colon and slowly releases it into your bloodstream over 8 hours. It is the only time-released hydration system found in nature. By having your chia ritual before bed, you are ensuring that your brain stays plump and hydrated in the middle of the night. You aren't just sleeping. You are marinating your brain in the moisture it needs to stay sharp. Chia seeds are also an incredible source of B vitamins, specifically thiamine and niacin. These are the spark plugs for your memory. But vitamins are useless if they pass through you too fast. The gel-like consistency of soaked chia ensures that these vitamins stay in contact with your intestinal walls for much longer. This gives your body the time it needs to actually absorb them. For my patients who feel like they are losing their edge, this steady absorption of B vitamins is often the missing piece of the puzzle. It's not about how much you eat. It's about how much you keep. The chia gel ensures you keep the best parts. Let's look back at the eyes. The gel-forming fiber in chia seeds doesn't just help with digestion, it helps with waste removal. High cholesterol and toxins in the blood can actually create floaters and cloudiness in our vision. By binding to toxins in the gut, chia seeds help sweep the bloodstream clean. When your blood is cleaner, the microcirculation to your eyes is clearer. I've had seniors tell me that after 3 weeks of the chia gel, the halos they see around lights at night began to diminish. Why? Because their internal filter was finally working again. You are cleaning your windows from the inside out. I also want to address a practical point. Many of my patients in their 70s and 80s struggle with hard, crunchy foods due to dental work or sensitive gums. This is the beauty of the chia gel. Once soaked, it is completely soft. It requires no heavy chewing and is incredibly gentle on the stomach. It provides the fiber of a giant salad without the strain of eating one at 9 p.m. It is the perfect senior food, powerful enough to protect the brain, but gentle enough to be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of their dental health. So, how do you make the reservoir? It's simple, but you must do it right. Take 1 tablespoon of organic chia seeds, add them to half a cup of warm, not boiling, water or unsweetened almond milk. Stir them immediately for 30 seconds to prevent clumping. Let them sit for at least 20 minutes until a thick, jelly-like consistency forms. I like to add a tiny pinch of cinnamon, which further helps with blood sugar. Drink this pudding 30 minutes before bed. As you swallow it, imagine that gel traveling to your brain, preparing to keep you hydrated and nourished until the morning light. Now, I need to be honest with you, doctor to patient. There are videos on this platform promising you'll see 20/20 by morning. That is a lie. Biology doesn't have a fast-forward button. However, there is one nutrient in this trio that acts faster than all the rest. It targets your night vision in as little as 10 to 14 days. If you've been struggling to see the road after the sun goes down, pay very close attention to this next part. The third seed in our nightly ritual is the humble pumpkin seed. Now, if you are like most of my patients, you might think of these as just a seasonal snack. But in the world of optometry, we look at them as a zinc gold mine. I want you to visualize something for a moment. Most of us know that vitamin A is the eye vitamin. You eat your carrots, you take your leafy greens, and you think you're protected. But here is the medical reality. Vitamin A is useless if it's stuck in your liver. Think of vitamin A like a high-performance passenger waiting at a station. Your liver is that station. To get to the job site, which is your retina, that vitamin A needs a vehicle. Zinc is the taxi driver. Without a sufficient fleet of zinc, that vitamin A sits idle in your liver while your eyes starve in the dark. This is the primary reason why so many seniors tell me, "Doctor, I eat healthy, so why am I struggling to see the road at night?" It's not a lack of vitamins, it's a lack of transportation. But zinc's job doesn't stop at transportation. Once that taxi arrives at the eye, zinc helps your body produce melanin. Now, we usually think of melanin as something in our skin, but it is also a vital pigment inside your eye. This pigment is what protects your eyes from scattered light. Have you ever noticed that when you drive at night, the oncoming headlights look like giant bleeding stars? Or that the street lights have long, distracting streaks coming off them? That is often because your ocular melanin is thinning. By fueling up on the zinc found in pumpkin seeds, you are helping your eyes paint a fresh layer of protective pigment. Within just 2 weeks of consistent intake, my patients often report that the bleeding lights start to crisp up. The world becomes defined again. You aren't just seeing, you are seeing with precision. There is a deep emotional cost to losing your night vision. I've sat with men and women in their 70s who have stopped going to dinner with friends or attending evening church services because they are terrified of the drive home. They feel like their world is shrinking, like they are under house arrest the moment the sun goes down. When I tell you that pumpkin seeds can help, I'm not just talking about biology. I'm talking about freedom. In my clinical experience, the zinc in pumpkin seeds is the fastest acting nutrient in our trio. Because zinc is absorbed rapidly in the small intestine, usually within 2 to 4 hours, it begins working on those liver enzymes almost immediately. When you eat a small handful before bed, you are preparing your eyes for the next day's light. Within 14 days, that confidence starts to return. You realize you can see the lines on the road again. You realize you aren't a prisoner to the clock. While the zinc is busy with your eyes, the magnesium in pumpkin seeds is going to work on your brain. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most concentrated sources of magnesium on the planet. For a senior, magnesium is like a nerve-calming tonic. It regulates the neurotransmitters that keep your brain from looping. You know that feeling where you can't stop thinking about a worry or a task while you're trying to sleep. Magnesium shuts that door. It also aids in synaptic plasticity, which is a fancy way of saying it helps your brain form new memories. While your eyes are getting their zinc taxi delivery, your brain is using magnesium to pave the roads between your neurons, making sure that what you learned today is still there tomorrow. I want to touch on a practical bonus for my male and female patients alike. Pumpkin seeds contain phytosterols, which have been shown in clinical studies to support prostate health in men and reduce overactive bladder symptoms in women. How many of you find your sleep, and therefore your memory consolidation, interrupted because you have to get up 3 or 4 times a night to use the bathroom? By incorporating pumpkin seeds into your evening routine, you are providing a natural support system that may help reduce those nightly trips. Better bladder control leads to better sleep. Better sleep leads to a better brain. It's all connected. Now, a very important note on how to eat these. If you buy pumpkin seeds that are heavily salted and roasted in cheap vegetable oils, you are undoing the benefits. High salt can raise your blood pressure at night, and oxidized oils cause the very inflammation we are trying to fight. Look for raw, unsalted pepitas, the green ones. They should look vibrant, not pale. If you find them too tough to chew, You can lightly toast them yourself at a very low temperature, below 170 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius, for a few minutes. Or, better yet, grind them into a powder and add them to your chia gel. This preserves the delicate fats and ensures the zinc is ready for the taxi ride to your eyes. How much is enough? You don't need a whole bag. I recommend 1 ounce, which is about a small handful or 28 grams. I want you to make this a conscious act. As you eat them, remember that you are fueling your independence. You are taking a stand against the shrinking of your world. Pair this with your soaked almonds and your chia gel, and you have created the most powerful, natural, and inexpensive night repair kit available to modern man. What about the brain? We've looked at studies of adults over 55. When they added ground flax and pumpkin seeds, which are also high in magnesium, to their routine, we saw a measurable shift in spatial memory. That's the "where did I put my keys" memory, in as little as 2 weeks. Magnesium relaxes the blood vessels in the brain, allowing for more oxygen. It's like opening a window in a stuffy room. When your brain can breathe, it can remember. Here is exactly how I want you to do this. Don't worry about being perfect, just be consistent. The chia gel. Soak 1 tablespoon of chia seeds in a small glass of water or almond milk for 20 minutes before dinner. Drink it right before you brush your teeth. The flax dust. Take 1 tablespoon of flax seeds, grind them in a cheap coffee grinder, and stir them into a little warm milk or yogurt. The pumpkin handful. Eat a small palmful of raw pumpkin seeds. 1 urgent warning. If you are on blood thinners, please talk to your doctor. These seeds are powerful. They improve circulation, and we want to make sure they work with your medication, not against it. I'm 73. I know what it's like to feel the years trying to take a little more from you every day. But we don't have to let them. Your eyes are the windows to your soul, and your memory is the library of your life. Don't let the windows get cloudy. Don't let the books go missing. Start this triple seed ritual tonight, not for me, but for the person you want to be 5 years from now. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and join our family. Share this video with 1 friend who has been complaining about their senior moments. Let's show the world that we aren't fading away. We're just getting started. I'm Dr. Sakyan. Sleep well, see clearly, and I'll see you in the next video.